Okay, hi guys, this is Gothic Central, and oh god, my hair is a mess, big time. I even have to put on a hat, because I've been working on YouTube stuff constantly, and I don't have a face cam on my PlayStation yet, so I haven't really had any reason to mess with my hair. That's triggering my OCD really bad. I recently am vaguely aware that okay, I don't usually get into politics on my channel, but I, of course, am a gamer. And when gaming is involved in politics, then I will. Now, um, if anyone is a fan of my favorite place to get games is Gamestop, um, then you will like this video. If you are one of the Wall Street giants who think that, you know, the little guy shouldn't be allowed to just the whole way up, do the same thing everyone else does, then you won't like this video. Because you won't like who for. Now, is more information that I have to research on. Right now, I just have a kind of a headache. Sleeping, actually, I haven't been sleeping a lot. I had a weird nightmare. Anyways, like from what I can gather from the few news responses I've seen is that apparently a very wise individual invested a large amount of money in GameStop stock prices. Now, in my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with that. I also don't see anything wrong with the fact that GameStop's market prices, from what I've seen on the videos that I did watch, again, tell me if any of my information is flawed so that I know. But it appears that the stock prices have jumped significantly. But Wall Street did I guess, like a thing or something where they're like, more or less like they don't want that. And here's a question that I'm sort of asking myself, and I'm kind of thinking is if that is what happens when a person who is just trying to help out their favorite game retailer, by just being, um, just spending their money how they want. What's that to say for any other person who decides that any other retailer deserves just as much credit? Does that mean that, say if a million people invested $1 into like GameStop or Dollar Store, you're telling me that GameStop or Dollar Store or Walmart or whoever all those people invested in doesn't deserve a place at the top because it's bad for the industry giants? You cannot be serious. It's a free market. Like, the way I see it, if GameStop deserves to be up there with like Bill Gates and stuff like that because of a kind gesture from a college student, then let them be up there at the top of the chart. Us gamers, our money matters just as much as anyone else's does. And if we say that video games are good enough to be up in the top 10 or the top 20 or the top 30 or 40 or 50 richest labels on the market, then that's where we said and proved and paid for them to be. I am very much against killing potential, more or less. Like, for example, if back I don't know if anyone remembers this, but there was a day when most metal singers were male, and there's some really good female metal singers, and it was really hard for them to make music because of the culture that surrounded them didn't see it as, well, basically they were being similar to the way these Wall Street people were being, except the only difference was it was driven by different reasons, but the same kind of people were sort of doing this. And what they do is they're basically saying, well, we don't think that this should be this way, so we're just going to stop you from doing this. That's wrong. I'm sorry, but just like women make just as good songs as men do, GameStop can have just as good market value as anyone else in the giant industry list of people that have high stocks. So I could have some information that's off, but I'm open to, a little bit of criticism, not a whole lot, but I mean enough to educate me on my information. But from what I can gather, basically, Wall Street, they might have put a big shield up for their richer investors. But I gotta tell you something, they took a big L on respect from their gaming community, because if you're putting down the little guy, the GameStop, not giving it its reward that it deserves, its status that it deserves, and if the analytics and facts add up that they deserve to be valued at a certain level, that's what they deserve. There's no getting around it. Facts are facts, and if those facts are wrong, then it's justified. But we live in a democracy, and if everyone says this guy's good, then you're good. But if a guy who's, like Wall Street, put things into metaphors, comes along and is like, well, we don't think so. It doesn't matter what the people say. That's wrong. We live in a democracy, and people need to start acting like it. Even when it comes to gaming, if everyone says GameStop deserves to be a AAA title and they deserve good stocks because their investors made it that way possible for them, then that's what needs to happen. If people think GameStop should be as big as Walmart, like physically and literally in every way, then you know what? You got a department store full of video games. I'm all for it. But if someone, shuts that down because, we don't want that. We run the market so we can do that. That's wrong. I don't care. I believe in freedom all around. Free market, freedom of speech, freedom to game, all that. Because, the GameStop has brought the past probably 2-3 generations together, something we can all agree on. We all got our games at GameStop. Whenever we were down to our last dollar and we're like, you know what? I want to have a good time. I want to reward myself. I want to get a nice game, do this and that. Go to GameStop. That way you don't have to go to other places and pay like $60 when you could just go to GameStop, buy a game that, might have been used so it loses technical value, but you can get it for what you can afford. So basically, this is just an attack on the people. as far as I could see it. Now, I heard some things about an app called Robinhood. I'm still trying to figure out exactly if they're the good or bad guy in this. I don't remember. I mean, I'm trying to figure that out. But from what I can gather in the most basic of details, and I'm only going off of the facts that I think I have registered in my head. And again, tell me if I misunderstand anything, because I'm open to the idea that my context could be taken out of context. Just, yeah, I'm just very passionate about video games, and that is the one thing that will bring up politics on this channel, is video games. Like, for example, I am a person who thinks I will never blame the video game for something that people do wrong. I will never agree that, I'll never blame a video game for something that is, someone else's fault. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I'm pro video games. I'm all for a little guy, little business, starting out, building something from the ground up, all that kind of thing. Like, like for example, a lot of songs that NFX makes. If you've ever heard their songs, like there's "Fight Back," that's a good one, and like the reason I bring them up is because the whole premise around that is just because you say I can't do something and be great doesn't mean it's true, and I will fight back by succeeding and doing great things. So that's kind of how I think, because like for example, the way I grew up, I seen a lot of people being put down because they had new ideas. They being cut short, being like, oh, you can't do this, you won't amount to this, you won't do, bad things being told by your parents. You know what I found out? That is when you put up your that's when you learn. Are you just gonna take it? No, I'm not. Because now, like for example, a lot of for example, like there's a lot of I had a conversation a while ago with a good friend of mine, and I do think that my generation is starting to feel a bit like the last one, the way they felt about us. And see, I don't like that. I'm a factual creature and I keep up with the times, but I can understand where the thoughts come from. But just so you Gen Z guys know, I don't take sides. I look at the facts, I analyze what's true, what's not true, and I only defend the facts. I am not going to put someone down just because they're young or because they're old. If I do so, it's because of something the individual says. But my point is that, you can't, if anywhere where two people are competing for something, if you have a privileged party that is jealous of a youthful party that is just doing their thing, living their best life, and they're like, they don't like what they're doing because they don't want this happening. You got the person uncomfortable with it, and then you got the younger ones like, we're gonna do our own thing, we're gonna do good at it. Let them. It's fine. But you gotta think though. You gotta validate everyone's opinion. You have to understand that everyone has a reason for having their opinion. And I get that a lot of uh, there are some negative effects to the newer like, for example, there is, you'll see, like, young people like Little Tay and stuff like that do some really disturbing things with what they uh, what they say and do that kind of turn people off, like it's kind of offensive. But in the end, you find out something like that situation where there's a lot more to it, and it's not all that poor young person's fault. So, you got to think, sometimes it's bad parenting, sometimes it's things like that, sometimes it's not the parents, sometimes it's other things. You got to think, like, you can't, like, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but my point is these big, experienced industry guys are mad because this little guy got good at something. They're jealous. They want that. Those industry giants want the exhilaration of when they first started hitting the charts and being the bosses and judge, jury, and executioner of Wall Street. They miss those times, but they're not going to take it from GameStop. Everyone has their day, and everyone has their chance in the end. And there's nothing wrong with free market. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I started up a business and say I started up a giant like business or a giant like thing that's never been done before or something like that, and someone was like, "Oh, you can't do that because, well, you're doing too good. We don't like it. We're jealous. We don't want that, or we don't like it because it's too new. It's not what we want." That would be wrong, and I would fight it to the bitter end because that's the way I am. I mean, I would. I mean, I'm trying to think of the song. There's some songs by NFX I don't want to play on here because it's not good to play like copyrighted music on YouTube. But there's a song that is by NFX. It starts off. It's like, you better watch what you're talking, because I ain't gonna stop when I'm moving. I can go all night or something like that. Basically, I think it's like a song about like and then there's another song about uh something about, like, it says like practicing on a guitar, and then now people are trying to tell me this and that. Like I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff. Like, I can relate to people that like have a passion for something, or they're good at something, and then people try and put down the little guy. I understand personally the underdog mindset. So I mean, I just think that there's too much you know the old world versus the new world biased. I think there's too much of that, and there's not enough of, well, we all make mistakes, and let's just see how it goes. Let's support each other. There's not enough of that. But there is that. It just needs to be more of it. So what I'm saying is like a lot of the people that I am closest to are people my age and younger than me. And do you know why? Because it's kind of sad to say, but like I just there's a lot of people older than me that think a certain way. And in case you're wondering, I'm a millennial. I'm 21. Yeah, I'm 21. I sometimes I get my age mixed up with someone else that I think about a lot. Um, I almost said I was 22. Um, but anyways, yeah, like, I guess that I think sometimes that I get really upset when I see any situation where, video games are being attacked or technology is being attacked or the idea of electric cars or really anything like really new like that. I take offense to that. Like, I think it's kind of unfair for the new little guy that he's not allowed to shoot his shot. Everyone should shoot their shot, even if they make a mistake. But yeah, like so like for example, I mean, if you check out my TikTok, you would see that when it comes to my opinions, I match the platform, and that's not necessarily always a good or a bad thing, but um, I guess you could say that I believe in the philosophy that with new change does come some new bad, but way more good, usually at some point. Unless, of course, it is something that's already happened, but you get what I mean. I'm one of them guys that dreams about a utopian society where everyone is peaceful, gets along, people don't fight about stupid things, and don't let it get to their heads. But I hope one day that can exist. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe I have to see a lot of cycles before that happens. But that's another reason I keep up with the times, because I might be a millennial, but I will adjust and readjust as the generations move through. And I'll constantly make sure that my brain is up to date with everything out here. I don't want to become like my parents. I don't want to become like the people, who told me, like, like I can still remember when I was a little kid, my dad used to always tell me I'd never amount to anything. Well, I've recently started having people from the past contact me, like, and to be honest, like, people just some people just like to hurt people because it makes them feel better, but in the end, the little guy will prove him wrong. I might have been, a long time ago, I might have been the kid that smashed my fingers in rocks on accident because as a kid, I didn't know how the world worked that well. But it kind of hurts when your dad just looks at you and insults you by calling you a 5-letter word and tells you to just get over it. But I do have to say one good thing did come of that. My self-taught theory that sometimes you just have to fight fire with water. If someone tells you you're not going to be great, you know what you do? You climb up on stage and make yourself great. You stay up, if you have to, put in the hours online. If you want to be online and be an content creator of some kind, and you put in effort, and that one day you don't even need their response, because you have the satisfaction of proving to yourself that they were wrong, very, very wrong about you, and then you find your own confidence. You don't need their opinions, because they're wrong. Because if you've reached that point where you've proved them wrong, that they're wrong, there's no way of getting around it. But I guess this all started with a big company attacking a small label. Well, I don't think it's such a small label. Gamestop is very well known. But I guess I kind of idealize GameStop as the little kid who just wants to be something, and the big stock market is the abusive dad, sort of. That's kind of how I look at it. But I've always kind of had that mindset where you need to grow up in some ways, but in other ways, you need to remember why you wanted to grow up. You need to remember why you need to keep that inertia going. You need to keep that want for that whatever drives you every day to get up and make a video, do great, do things that make you happy and make other people happy. Whatever drives you to do that, then that's exactly what you need to do. Can't let people put you down. And even when it comes to companies like GameStop and the stock market is a series of companies, but you get what I mean. But yeah, this is probably the only kind of subject I bring up this kind of thing on my channel for, because I am, of course, a gamer. So anything gaming, I'm inclined to bend the rules of my own a little bit. And one of them is that I never talk about politics. But today, things kind of hit home. Anyone who attacks gamers loses all respect in my book, because gamers are just people who want to be, who want to, make a living on their own way, like I do. Like, we're just trying to be who we are, and then we have these industry giants like, oh no, even if you win fair and square, you didn't win, because we don't want that. That's wrong. I don't care what anyone says, it's wrong. Even if I was one of those industry giants, I would step back and I would say, GameStop, you earned your place here. You deserve the high rankings. You deserve the high values. You deserve what you've worked for. It's not my place to say otherwise. That's what I would humble myself for GameStop. And on the side of GameStop, I'd be pretty mad if the person on the other end didn't do that. It's disrespectful to GameStop. They've been around a long time. And, to be honest, gaming has gotten better and better and more relatable, so obviously people that are a little out of date might not understand, but they don't have to necessarily. But here's a way to make them understand. Imagine that something that you really enjoy is invalidated by a massive force because, like, for example, if okay, say there's a bank, and usually it's a bunch of old people working there, and all of a sudden you start hiring young people, and young people start making more money and accomplishing more than the old people did. You don't shut down the bank because you're jealous that they're doing better than you. You're like, oh wow, I wish I would have did that, and you give them the respect they deserve. You don't cut them off because you're jealous of them. That's wrong. So it's kind of the same thing with like the GameStop. Like, just because the GameStop is like, the little guy, that doesn't give you a right to cut them off and say, oh, you're cut off. You don't deserve this net. That's wrong. Like I said, there's still a lot of research. I need to look into this. And I see I have 2 viewers. That's nice. I just thank you for joining. I didn't type that in the chat. But yeah, like I really, I don't know what it is, but I've always had this this mindset where, like, I know how it felt when I was younger to be put down by, the big people you look up to, whether you should or shouldn't, that kind of thing. I've always had this kind of mindset where if the person, like I don't, like, whether it be your parents or like something like that, if, like, anytime the big guy is putting down the little guy, whether it be company versus company, or, like I mentioned earlier, in the music industry, similar thing happened to what's happening with GameStop. Is there was a lot of new female singers that there weren't a lot of female singers, and yes, I agree with you significantly. I agree with you completely. Thank you for commenting. Um, yes, the whole GMA thing is pretty scuffed. You expect that people, both big and small, are treated equal. Yes, I agree they should be treated equal because this is a country supposedly founded on equal rights, and that should be exactly what we're seeing here in every situation. But that is not the case because people that like to, you know, that just want to watch the world burn, apparently they like to divide us. But that's not, but as a generation of equals, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to keep making things even and fair the more and more time progresses, and eventually the inequality will die out and everyone will be happy. Now, I I just I hate seeing I don't like seeing this kind of thing happening, because it's kind of depressing, because like I was going back to the music thing, there was a time when there was a lot of females that were like, we sing good, we know we sing good, but why is it so hard to get into the music industry? It's like, let them do their thing. And you know what? After they got over their like, you know, I guess you could say that they got over the people in charge got over their pride and finally let them sing. Guess what? Every single man and woman and child wanted to hear them sing. And guess what? People in charge, the people didn't want to let them sing and follow their dreams. They're wrong. And guess who's good now? I mean, like, what we got, Icon for Hire, we got Evidence, all these great female singers, and it's still new ones to this day. So we know that whoever was saying that they couldn't do it was wrong. And anytime I see someone, a little guy, someone trying to do something great and there's a barrier of judgment in their way, I'm always going to side with the little guy, because a long time ago, well, I'm still sort of the little guy, but I never forget what it feels like to start out. And you know it's kind of like the Eminem song where he says, "I'm grateful for every fan that I get." It's like that line right there. I might have kind of taken that out of context, but it's a positive message. I am grateful for every fan I get. I show my gratitude very explicitly, and I and I just, whenever I see people take fame the wrong way, or it gets to their head, I carefully analyze where that's coming from, and I approach it with reason, logic, and understanding, rather than judgment and opinions that aren't going to make them feel better. So, to be honest, I don't even generate those opinions to begin with. I think from their perspective before my own. I usually try to do that. Sometimes I kind of, if it's something personal, I kind of jump the gun a little bit, but then I quickly relay my mistakes, or go back and fix them. But yeah, I think it's important that we all understand we always need to defend the little guy. The little guy always needs to be defended, because if we don't defend the little guy, then we're just a bunch of statues reveling in past glories and leaving out all the potential for change. And that's not fair for anyone new. So, yeah, I think that, yeah. And in fact, to be honest, I listen to just as many female singers as male singers. There might even be more female singers that I listen to. And I am probably the least sexist person ever. I mean, there's things I used to be against, but now that I'm older and wiser, I am not against at all. I mean, as long as they do their thing, and I do, and everyone has their own freedom and does their own thing and they're happy, I have no problem with anything. Anyone can do anything they want, as long as they're not hurting anyone. But yeah, like they're like, I've seen other content creators make like kind of jokes about, like, you know about things and stuff like that. I don't even do that. I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Like, I really do, like, I actually am I'm probably the most open-minded person that I've ever been. And granted, there are some things that I would not be okay with indulging in, because it would make me uncomfortable, but that does not mean that I'm going to, like, tell other people not to do those things. Like, Like, for example, here's for example something I always get mad at people for doing is, like, if they see a specific type of content creator on a more, like, it's hard to say on YouTube, especially since I'm live. I don't like when people call people the word, because I think it's unfair, because there's a lot of things that prove that that is not true. I mean, just because everyone makes different content, and you know what, like, some content isn't safe for work, but that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it, you know, it's just not something for work. It doesn't mean that it's bad or anything, because at the end of the day, what do we all do? We're human. So what gives us the right to shame people for literally being the most real they can be? Like, for example, like, I'm subscribed to, like, Lena Rhodes' YouTube channel and stuff like that. You know, like, I'm not drawing lines to other lines, but what I'm saying is, I don't like it when women shame other women for things that they just don't agree with. I do think that there is, like, like, for example, I think that it is wrong that if you are in a certain line of work, you're not allowed to work other lines of work because of, like, like, I don't like the idea that just because you work a certain kind of job, it the job market labels you, like, unclean for work or something like that. That is the most dehumanizing thing ever. So, for example, like, if you go to, like, certain states and you're like, can I get a job, you know, doing this or that, and then people ask you, were you in the dot industry or something like that, and then as soon as you check off yes or something like that, they're like, oh, we can't hire you. Me, if I was that person, I'd be like, excuse me, like, really? I don't know. I think people get punished for just being human sometimes, and I think it's wrong, because I think you can make a career out of anything, but as long as it's not hurting people, and I can tell you that that particular career helps more people than it hurts. I can attest to that completely. Um, because if you think about it, it really doesn't hurt anyone. It hurts people's opinions, but people's opinions matter. But the thing is, when their opinions make other people feel bad and they feel like that opinion is more important than the whole principle um, of keeping the peace, more or less, then it becomes a bit toxic of an opinion. Like, for example, if like, the last president we had, he was sort of toxic. I'm not gonna lie, he was a lot toxic. Now, if you I don't want to get into that whole thing a lot, but if you've ever watched the way he is, he insulted women, he insulted innocent people. Oh, hold on a minute. Hey, Eddie. Good. I'm live streaming on YouTube.
Oh shit, what are you streaming?
I'm streaming. I'll show you.
Is it Destiny?
No, it's not. Let me switch my camera.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is EDDYSIXX Gaming. If you want to say hi.
Hello.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'm actually I am discussing something game related. It's probably the only thing I ever get into any kind of politics about is games.
Oh,
But
what's it?
it's like I was talking about the whole GME thing, the GameStop thing. Did you hear about that yet?
About which?
The GameStop thing, where the stock market's trying to belittle GameStop and put GameStop down for having high market value and like cutting it off more or less.
Also, dude, that they're open during lockdown as well.
Wait, what happened?
Here, the GameStops and EV Games, everything aren't even open, dude.
Yeah, that's
They're
not
closed.
good. But yeah, like I got this really good comment on my video and I really like it. Is the whole GMA thing is pretty scuffed. You expect that people both big and small are treated equal. And I couldn't possibly agree more because you know.
Hold on a second. I gotta make a call quickly. Someone called me.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna set this camera up over here so you can see me. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think everyone should be treated equally because, the thing is that when you start treating, when you stop treating people equally, everyone's going to get upset about something. And I don't think anyone wants that. My lips are dry.
I'll have to let you go, dude, because James made a party with me, so I gotta go.
Okay, I'll join you in about 5
He
minutes.
wants to show me more Watch Dogs Legion, so...
Okay, hey, can you ask him if I can join and text me and tell me what he said?
I'll ask, okay?
Okay.
Get back to you. I did just get home as well.
Yeah, sorry about waking you up earlier.
It's fine, dude. It's just I got home just now, so I've been shopping most of the day.
Okay, and I'll need his schedule because I don't want to bother him when he's busy because I know his time's very important because he's
Well,
very.
now he wants me to be on, so I'm going to be on when he needs me on.
Okay. Well, I might try and join later, but just give me.
I don't want to mess that up.
Okay, just give me a heads up what he says.
I will.
Okay, because. Okay, see you later, Eddie.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Okay. I will.
Guys.
Okay. Okay, guys. So basically, I also added EDDYSIXX Gaming's new channel to the to the description or whatever. I might share my screen real quick. Let me see something. I'm trying to find out how to share my screen. Hold on. Come on. Hold on, guys. Let me do something real quick so I can kind of monitor something on my. I'm gonna monitor this on my phone while I check how to share my screen. Or actually, I might just look it up. Oh, there's no. Oh, come on, Google. You're doing it again. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't Google search on my desktop. That would have been embarrassing. Oh, that freaked me out. Okay, how to share desktop on YouTube Live. Okay. Ironically, I'm looking it up on YouTube. That's funny. Okay. And let me answer someone's text real quick.
Hey, what's going on guys, Sandeep here, and if you want to live stream your desktop screen on YouTube or Twitch, then this video is for you. You may want to live stream your gameplay, some tutorial or any other thing using your computer screen, then you can do this
I
on
just got
YouTube.
good news from someone,
There
so
was
that's
an
good.
option on YouTube where you can live stream your desktop screen using a Hangout on Air, but Hangout on Air has been discontinued, so we have to use third-party software. There are many paid and free software available which YouTube supports. The free one is OBS, that is Open Broadcaster software. You have to install OBS on your computer. It does support Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems, so choose accordingly. Okay, let me download the Windows version. Once the download is complete, you have to install OBS on your computer. The installation is pretty simple, like you do on normal softwares. After the installation, you have to open OBS on your computer. For the first time, you will get auto configuration wizard. You have to select on yes so that OBS can configure its software on your computer. After that, you will get another window which says optimize for streaming. Recording is secondary. We are going to use OBS for streaming, not for recording, so select the first option. And you have to select resolution and FPS for streaming. In the next window, you have to select the service where you want to stream. We will do it later, so let's cancel it. Now you have to go to profile so that you can create a new profile on OBS and save the changes. So you can name it anything you want. After that, hit OK. Your profile will be saved, so you want to.
Okay, I'm not doing all that.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम फ्रेंड्स, मैं नेम इज और आप देख रहे हैं माय ब्लॉगर यूट्यूब चैनल। फ्रेंड्स, आज के इस वीडियो में मैं आप लोगों को बताऊंगा कि आप कैसे अपने यूट्यूब चैनल पे अपने कंप्यूटर की, अपने पीसी की स्क्रीन को लाइव स्ट्रीम कर सकते हैं, यानी कि अपने व्यूअर्स को दिखा सकते हैं कि आप करंटली इस वक्त जो क्या काम कर रहे हैं अपने कंप्यूटर पे। सो स्टे ट्यून।
I heard stay tuned.
ओके तो फ्रेंड, वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले मेरी आपसे एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा माय ब्लॉगर यूट्यूब चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो इस वीडियो के नीचे आपको एक रेड कलर का बटन नजर आ रहा होगा।
I need to learn more languages
बेल आइकन को जरूर दबाइए ताकि आपको हमारे
so I can understand that.
उसके अलावा फ्रेंड, इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, और अगर आपको कोई मसला पेश आ रहा है तो आप नीचे मुझे कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख के पूछ सकते हैं। तो चलिए फ्रेंड, शुरू करते हैं। फ्रेंड, सबसे पहले आप लोगों ने क्या करना है, अपने लैपटॉप पे, अपने कंप्यूटर पे, अपने वेब ब्राउज़र को ओपन करना है। मैं यहाँ फ्रेंड्स गूगल क्रोम का यूज कर रहा हूँ और आप लोगों को भी रिकमेंड करता हूँ कि गूगल क्रोम का ही यूज करिए। तो फ्रेंड्स, उसके बाद आप लोगों ने क्या करना है, सिंपली एड्रेस बार में टाइप करना है www.youtube.com। जैसे फ्रेंड्स आप यूट्यूब के होम पेज पे आते हैं, उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों ने अपने उस चैनल के साथ जो है यूट्यूब पे लॉगिन हो जाना है, जिसपे अपने अपनी कंप्यूटर की स्क्रीन को लाइव स्ट्रीम करना है। ये कि फ्रेंड्स मेरा चैनल जो है इधर से लॉगिन है। सिंपली फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों को इधर टॉप राइट कॉर्नर पे आप लोगों के चैनल का आइकन दिखाई देगा, आपने इस पे क्लिक करना है। जैसे ही आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे, आप लोगों के पास इस तरह से जो कुछ जो है एक लिस्ट जो है थोड़ी सी लोडिंग लेके ओपन हो जाएगी। यहाँ पर फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों ने यूट्यूब स्टूडियो के बटन पे क्लिक कर देना है। जैसे फ्रेंड्स आप यूट्यूब स्टूडियो के बटन पे क्लिक करेंगे, आप लोगों के पास आपके यूट्यूब चैनल का स्टूडियो जो है ओपन हो जाएगा। उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों ने आ जाना है इधर लेफ्ट साइड पे अपने चैनल डैशबोर्ड के नीचे। फ्रेंड्स, जहाँ पे आप लोगों ने स्क्रॉल डाउन करते हुए नीचे आना है तो आप लोगों को एक ऑप्शन मिलेगा अदर फीचर का। जैसे ही फ्रेंड्स आप इधर अपने कर्सर को लाएंगे, आप लोगों के पास फ्रेंड्स एक लिस्ट जो है खुल जाएगी। आप लोगों ने फ्रेंड्स इस लिस्ट में सेकंड ऑप्शन मिलेगा आप लोगों को लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग का। आप लोगों ने इस पे क्लिक कर देना है। जैसे ही आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे, आप लोगों के पास एक न्यू पेज है वो ओपन हो जाएगा। ये थोड़ी सी लोडिंग लेगा और उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों को यहाँ पे मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि आप YouTube पे 3 तरह से जो लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग कर सकते हैं। सबसे पहले फ्रेंड्स आप लोग जो है वो लाइव स्ट्रीम जा सकते हैं किसी OBS सॉफ्टवेयर की मदद से, यानी थर्ड पार्टी बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर होते हैं जो कि आपको फैसिलिटी देते हैं कि आप उनका इस्तेमाल करते हुए YouTube पे लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग कर सकते हैं। उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स इवेंट्स का, और फ्रेंड्स थर्ड है कैमरे का, यानी कि अगर आप लोगों के कंप्यूटर या आपके लैपटॉप के साथ वेब कैमरा अटैच है तो आप डायरेक्टली जो वो लाइव जा सकते हैं यूट्यूब पे। तो फ्रेंड्स हमने क्या करना है, हमने अपने कंप्यूटर की स्क्रीन को शेयर करना है। इसके लिए फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों को इधर इवेंट्स के बटन पे क्लिक करना है। जैसे फ्रेंड्स आप इवेंट्स के बटन पे क्लिक करेंगे, आप लोगों के पास एक न्यू पेज है वो लोड हो जाएगा। यहाँ पे फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों को मैसेज मिलेगा यू डोंट हैव एनी अपकमिंग इवेंट्स। फ्रेंड्स अगर आप लोगों ने कोई पहले से इवेंट्स क्रिएट किया होगा तो उसकी लिस्ट आप लोगों के पास इधर आ जाएगी। और फ्रेंड्स ये वाला ऑप्शन इधर आप लोगों को नहीं मिलेगा। आप लोगों ने क्या करना है फ्रेंड्स, न्यू इवेंट क्रिएट करने के लिए इधर फ्रेंड्स टॉप राइट कॉर्नर पे न्यू लाइव इवेंट का बटन दिखाई देगा, आपने इस पे क्लिक करना है। तो चलिए फ्रेंड्स मैं इधर शेड्यूल ए न्यू इवेंट के बटन पे क्लिक कर देता हूँ। जैसे ही मैं इस पे क्लिक करूंगा हमारे पास एक न्यू पेज आ जाएगा। इस पेज पे फ्रेंड्स सबसे पहले आप लोगों ने अपनी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग का टाइटल देना है, अच्छे से फ्रेंड्स ऑप्टिमाइज करके जो वो सर्चेबल टाइटल दीजिए। और उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों ने क्या करना है, डिस्क्रिप्शन डालनी है, टैग्स डालने हैं। तो चलिए फ्रेंड्स मैं क्या करता हूँ, यहाँ पे अपनी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग का जो वो टाइटल डाल देता हूँ। मिसाल के तौर पे फ्रेंड्स मैं सिंपल सा जो है टाइटल रख देता हूँ, हाउ टू गो लाइव ऑन यूट्यूब। इसी तरह फ्रेंड्स मैं क्या करता हूँ, इसे कॉपी करता हूँ और इसे जो है डिस्क्रिप्शन में पेस्ट कर देता हूँ और टैग वाले सेक्शन में भी जो है पेस्ट कर देता हूँ। और उसके बाद फ्रेंड्स आप लोगों ने क्या करना है,
Okay, guys, this is a mouthful, and I really don't know. I gotta move my thing again. Okay, there's a share button. What? Close that. Hold on. Let me do something. This needs to move. Come on. I'm doing so many different things at once, guys. Oh no, not again. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out here, how do I share my screen? Expand menu. Manage. Stream management. Okay, hold on a minute, guys. Okay, that's still going, that's good. I am going to have to do something real quick. Are you serious? I hate that when it happens. My phone is connected to something that doesn't want to move where I want my phone. Okay, now let me... Actually, I wonder if I still have my other cord over here. There's one there. Should be another one still. I know there was a way to share my screen that didn't involve like a whole lot of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is gonna download something real quick. What's this? Watch live gaming and chat Twitch TV. Okay, I do need to do this sort of thing. Okay. I thought I already downloaded this. I'm gonna do OBS. Actually, what I might do is I will stream on Twitch on my computer, and I will do that right after this, and I will try to share my screen so I can show you guys whatever I was going to show you, if I can remember, because there's some PC games that I could show you that are pretty good, and plus I haven't been very active on Twitch in a while. But okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me put a link to my channel, and we'll okay, so hope you enjoyed. See you in the next stream, which could be pretty soon.